Hello friends, I hope this monthly video blog finds you well. We've been enjoying some beautiful weather here in Chicago, and I've got a lot of really fun and exciting stuff going on in my life right now. My body has been feeling pretty good. I did have to work my way through a little bit of a low point last month with some seasonal adjustment, but that seems to have passed. In fact, I've been darn near giddy for the past few weeks with some of the things that are going on. The Bike MS event is coming up next month, and I already have raised a little over $17,000. This is the earliest I have ever raised that much money, and I am super excited. Because as you know, this year is extra special. This year marks 45 years of living with multiple sclerosis, so I set a very aggressive goal in honor of that milestone. A team and personal goal of $45,000. Even though I've gotten off to a great start, I can still use your help. So thank you to those of you who have already jumped in, and I will be so grateful for those of you who join me over the next month to get me across that finish line. Speaking of finish lines, I am approaching a very major one in my life. For the past 2 years, many of you have heard me dropping hints, teasing, revealing little pieces. I am getting closer and closer to the place where I have a full manuscript ready to go out into the world. The working title of the book is Ride of My Life, as most of you already know. It's a project that started almost 2 years ago, and one that we honestly thought would be finished much sooner than this. But we are finally at the point where the finish line is so close that I could technically step across it as early as tomorrow if I wanted to. But here's the thing, I'm not going to. Have you ever noticed that the closer you get to the finish line, the more eager you are to get there? And sometimes that eagerness means there are things in your blind spot, things you're not quite seeing yet, that could make crossing that finish line even sweeter if you just give it a little more time. That's exactly what's been happening over the last couple of weeks. Since the beginning of the year, I have been furiously reading through the existing draft of the manuscript, and I have to tell you, I really love copy editing. I know that might sound a little strange, but there's something about my neurodivergent brain that finds detailed precision work genuinely exciting. I have read through this thing with a fine-tooth comb more times than I can count. My co-author has been incredibly patient with me as I've asked questions about word choices and punctuation, this detail and that detail, all the things that my brain finds very important to get it exactly right. The fun thing is his brain is way more big picture than mine, and that is exactly why we make such a perfect pair. Now, in my eagerness to get across this finish line, I also found myself doing a little something I try not to do, judging myself. I kept thinking if I had just hunkered down more, if I had stayed more focused, I would have already had this in the hands of a publisher by now. And it is no fun to sit in a place of self-judgment. But truth be told, I think it happens to all of us sometimes. The real truth is that this project is unfolding on exactly the timeline it was always intended to. And the last thing I want to do is push it across the finish line before it is truly ready, just for the sake of saying it is done. Last week, my long-term friend, coach, and co-author Jim read through the entire manuscript from cover to cover for the first time in a long time. Jim has been a part of my life for over 25 years now, starting as my yoga teacher and growing into so many other roles along the way. I was really excited to hear his perspective on everything we've done. And I'll be honest, part of me was just waiting for his blessing to call it finished. What he gave me instead was exactly what I needed, the truth. He told me that from where he was sitting, it was really good and that I could take it to a publisher as is and have a genuinely good chance of getting something out there by the end of the year. And then he told me that it could be even better. I won't lie, that landed a little hard at first because I was so ready to be done. But when we talked it through and Jim shared his vision for what one more intentional pass could do for this manuscript, it made complete sense to me. So instead of speeding up to get to the finish line, I've decided to slow it down. We are going to take one more pass and take this thing to the next level. Not completely reinvent it, but refine it. Just enough to get it to the place it truly deserves to be after all this time and all this work. And I am genuinely excited about it. My sense is that by the time you hear from me in June, I'm going to have a much clearer picture of where things stand. And who knows, maybe even a big announcement. So here's my question for you this month, my friends. What finish lines are you rushing toward in your own life? Are they ready to be crossed? Would it serve you better to accelerate or to slow it down and savor things just a little bit more? It doesn't really matter what the answer is as long as you give it some good thought. Well, that's it for this month. Hope you enjoy the long days and our beautiful lead up to the summer. Much love to you all. Ciao, ciao for now.